Please settle down, take a comfortable seating position with your back, neck, and head in a straight line as comfortably as you can. Bring your mind to the here and now by fixing it on your breath. Feel your body relaxing, letting all the tension in your shoulders, in your chest, in your forehead. Let there be no tension there. Feel a complete calm within you. Let's start with chanting Om 3 times, followed by Sahana Bhavatu. Om. 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 Sahana Bhavatu. Sahano Bhunaktu. Sahaviryam Karavavahai. Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. A warm welcome to all to this Art of Parenting 2023 session this year. It's good to see so many of you have joined. So, you know, like art of living, art of parenting, we talk about it, right? It's it is actually an art, isn't it? It's a beautiful journey. In fact, a new life has come, is coming and has become a part of our lives. And it's a beautiful journey of discovery, rediscovering the whole world again through new eyes, through the eyes of this child. In a certain way, it's actually a beautiful journey. But as we are, and it's a very long journey, right? Now it's you can call it a journey. It can it's like, you can say it's like a 20 years or almost like a lifelong project. It never leaves you, and we are all come together as co-travelers in this life, and even though it's such a beautiful journey, sometimes we are so tired. We are so frustrated. We have our wonderful days and we have our not so good days with parenting as well. And it doesn't mean we don't love the child or anything, but it's just that we have our good days and we have not so good days. We have our good days of parenting and not so good days of parenting. And here we are all here. So can we call ourselves good parents, bad parents in this whole sense? Not. Is this course or is this session all about, how to be a good parent, do this, then you're a good parent? That's not what it is, but we are trying to make this whole parenting journey an efficient parenting. Am I efficient in my parenting, or, is it not working? What I want to do, is it happening or is it going the other way? Right? That is what we will try to see and learn. So this is an open session. It is and we are starting the Art of Parenting course from today for the next 8 weeks, actually over the weekends. So today is an open session for all, for you to get a glimpse of what this parenting, why we even need a course. We almost always think we should hit a crisis, only then we should go for a course like this. But we can learn. It's another road we are embarking on. So it's nice to go with a map, right? Than just trying to discover things on the way all the time. So it can give us a good guidance. And that's what this Art of Parenting course is all about. Anything that you all have to share, Prabha and Shubha, before we...
Yeah, good morning, everyone. And yeah, just like how Arthi said, what's the need? I mean, like, yeah, there are courses like for NEET, for IIT, for, the coaching. So is this one of those courses? Do we think that this Art of Parenting is one of those courses? And why do we need it? Am I going to become that perfect parent? That's probably some of us do think, okay, if I go in for this course, it'll probably make me a perfect parent. But at the onset, let's make this very clear. There is no perfect parenting, and then please don't be disappointed. Oh, why did I then join this course? This course is not about becoming a perfect parent. This is a journey that you're embarking upon. And then it's just that we're trying to see, being a parent is a great responsibility. It's a joy. It's a celebration. So are we doing this with awareness? That's all. Are we, it's like probably like Arthi said, it's a roadmap. Yes. Just like how Google tells you, take a right, take a left. This course will definitely not do that for you. It's not about giving you directions about, but then it's just like telling you that, you can walk this path. It's like, okay, you're going on a marathon or you're going on a hike. So it's like telling you that, when you walk on this path, if you're equipped with good shoes, you're equipped with this particular type of, clothing, it'll make your journey more comfortable. It's just that. And the choice is totally up to the individual to take this as, as part of whatever they want as their learning, or you might have different viewpoints or different aspects and perspectives about it. That's perfectly all right. It's that's exactly what it's just that I wanted to share, that there's no perfect parenting. Let's be aware of that at the very onset of this. It's just that how, as parents, we think that just because we are parents, we've got to be, there's a labeling as a parent. And then the minute we become, that when the minute we don that, mask of a parent, we think, okay, this is the way I have got to be. So let's discover how the child looks at us as a parent also during this journey. It's not just about how we want the child to be. Okay. This is what I would think would be an apt this thing for before we begin this course. Prabha?
Yes. So how you ended it, I thought I'll start from there, is most of the time we have been brought up in a particular way of, by our parents. There was a kind of a different parenting, which we have experienced. What I have experienced, Arthi's life would have been different, Shubha's life would have been very different. And sometimes as we become parents, either one thought will come that I will have my parents are my role models and I'm going to do the similar way of parenting. Or you might not have agreed with that style of parenting, and you might be, almost in your mind, you would be saying, I'm going to do this way because this is what is my role model and this is my reference point. And that reference point, you might be wanting to stick onto it. And there are, of course, loads and loads of articles about parenting and how you should be. This should be, is like, you should do like that. You should always be very calm. You should always be like this. And like Arthi said, we are faced with so many situations in life where our emotions are ups and downs. And if you are a teenager, by that time, if your child is a teenager, that means you would have reached in your 40s, and some women would be going through menopause. They would have gone hormonal upsurges, and then they also get more, emotional or angry or anything like that. And then it adds on because the child is wanting something, and then you are showing different emotion, and then there is total disconnect. So most of the time, I'm sure parent might want to, explore on such satsangs, what we are doing right now, to understand how do I connect with my child. So because my child, it could be 2 children, 3 children, and each child is so different in the personality. And sometimes you sit and wonder, Arey, she's so different from me, he's so different from me. So I'm really not able to know how do I connect. For example, I have seen, my daughter is right now is in college, but when she was growing up, she's absolutely, totally different from me. Absolutely, exactly opposite from me. So at that time when I am growing up, I used to wonder, how do I connect her thoughts, her beliefs, her way of sharing the language, the vocabulary, everything is totally different. So how do I connect? And this 8 weeks is a kind of I would say a kindergarten, kind of a step 1 to kind of understand, how do I understand myself, so that you are able to look at your child as a whole child itself. It's not like my clone or my baby. It's like, or he or she should do what I tell her to do or tell him to do. So this course is going to, very beautifully, in the flyer, you would have seen that, raise yourself before raising your child. And that is absolutely very, very crucial for all of us, because we think that I have to raise my child, I have to raise my child. So the thought is always, as a parent, from the moment the child is born, and specifically when the child becomes a teen, there's more tension for the parent. How do I raise my child so that the child is honest, fearless, courageous, and go through all the situations in life, in a very equanimous mode. We have all these reference paragraphs written in our mind. So first, it's important to raise ourselves, and why it is so important is what this this course also would give us an idea. So over to Arthi for the first point to discuss.
So when we're talking about efficient and conscious parenting, so the important thing that comes up is, am I tuned to my inner compass? Do I know within? Am I turned inward? So to really bring out this fact, I would like to tell a small experience that I had when my children were just 2 years old. And I would get very very irritated with them sometimes. And then until then, it was very easy for me to say, okay, I'm angry because this person is like this person is acting this way, this other person is acting this way, and that is making me angry. But when this 2-year-old child came into my life and I started getting angry for the first time, I started then thinking, it cannot be this little innocent child which is making me angry. How can I, this little, something, the anger is inside me. The frustration, the anger, or whatever, I am out of control. My mind is not in my control, and hence I must try and take control over it. That set in, and what are the steps? That is a journey. The first realization that I am the one who is not in control. And then you start taking control over your mind, so that then you can find that inner compass. We all can find that inner compass which can guide us through every stage of this child, right? So as a conscious parent, as a first step, if we want to understand, I will just give you a little bit of a story from the Mahabharata, a comparison, a parenting, just one aspect of parenting, if we have to see one angle of looking at it, what kind of a parent I am. Now we have Pandu parenting and Dhritarashtra parenting. Now, what kind of parent was Pandu and what kind of parent was Dhritarashtra? Dhritarashtra had his child Dhritarashtra wanted to become a king. And his wish was not fulfilled. And because his wish was not fulfilled, he thought at least he will fulfill his wish through his child. So the purpose for having a child was also so that he can at least fulfill his wish of coming to the throne and becoming a king through his son. He wanted to, so he married, and his wife in fact got pregnant first. But unfortunately, Gandhari carried the baby for so long and she didn't give birth to the baby. And in the meanwhile, Pandu had Yudhishthira, and Yudhishthira became the older son. So through this whole journey also, Yudhishthira, what happened? So then again, Duryodhana was born later, and then the whole time his wish, his desire of becoming the king became the motivation for his parenting. It became a big filter in his parenting as he raised Duryodhana, and hence Duryodhana became such a strong, and of course it was fanned by Shakuni and other things, but the intent with which the child was born or brought to this world, conceived in this world, mattered so much that he went on. All he wanted was the throne. Hook or crook, dharma or adharma. And what did Dhritarashtra do? He also wanted it so much that he was ready to disregard all the adharma that his son was doing. It didn't matter, because that became the most important thing for him. Okay, let him come maybe this way. Even though it is not like Dhritarashtra didn't know that it was adharma, but still his need for his son to come to the throne was so high, and fulfilling his own wish through his son was so high that whatever he did, he tried to turn a blind eye. In a way, he was blind and he turned a blind eye to it. It's very, it's very symbolic how these characters are chosen as they are in the stories. Right? He turned a blind eye to it. And we saw what happened with Duryodhana. On the other hand, so Dhritarashtra wanted to be the king for himself, whereas Pandu thought like a king. He was a king, and he said, now the next generation is coming. So if the people have to be taken of Hastinapura have to be taken care of well, what kind of a king do we need? So of course he couldn't have children of his own, so he had to invoke, he told Kunti which god to invoke, so that and beget a child through them. I'm assuming many of you know the story of Mahabharata. So just to give Pandu had a curse, and hence he could not have a child of his own, and hence but Kunti had, his wife Kunti had a boon from a rishi, Vishwamitra, and hence that boon was that she could call upon any devata and beget a child. Through a mantra, she could invoke that devata and have a child. So Pandu, then he had gone away to the forest, but even then, even though he had renounced his kingdom, he was still in his mind thinking about the good of the people. If my children have to be good, caretakers of the people of this land, so he invoked Dharma Raja first, Yama Dharma Raja, to be, because the king has to be uphold Dharma first of all, and so he asks Kunti to invoke Yamadharma Raja, and the first child Yudhishthira was born. And then he said, now I need another child who can be a strong sense of support for this king. He should be strong, he should be powerful for this king. He will be ruling, he is the eldest, he will rule, but what is the support he needs? So call Vayudeva. And then Bhima, he is such a strong child. And then he needs someone who is very dedicated, sincere, and absolutely devoted, and extremely skilled. He needs that kind of a support. So Arjuna. And then with Madri, he's well-being is also health. So in a way, we see all these as tenets. In some ways, you need dharma, you need that single-minded focus and surrender also, and you need courage and strength as well, and good health as well. So, he was covering all angles. So if all of this, if the king falls sick, then my children are there to take care of him, his health also, so that he can do his duty as a king as best as he can for the people. So now one parenting is based completely on dharma, and the other parenting is placed completely on his own ego, Dhritarashtra, right? So it is time for us to reflect on what kind of parenting am I doing? Why did I have, what is it? What kind of parenting am I doing? Or what kind of parenting do I want to be?
It's very interesting in the case of Dhritarashtra. In subtle ways, many of us could have the Dhritarashtra's, a tinge of Dhritarashtra is sometimes we say, I wanted to be a doctor, but situations happened that I could not become a doctor. So I want my child to be a doctor, right? So most of the time it's my wants, you put top of five to your child. So most of the time it's like, I hear sometimes some parents saying, I could not have an opportunity to sing. So I want my child to go to art class, dance class, and music class. That's it. So it's not like whether the child has that potential or the interest or that intelligence to go to a creative or art class. Maybe the child might be in a different section itself, might like linguistics, might like interpersonal skills or whatever it is. But it is a way that because I could not be a singer, I'm going to make sure that my child participates in competitions because it makes me feel proud. So most of the time, it's all about me as a parent, that how proud I am feeling when I am sharing it to my friends. You know what? My child is doing this. So many times there is a tinge of Dhritarashtra there itself. So Shubha wants to share anything in your thing? Yeah.
Said this, I remember this Khalil Gibran's quote on children, which I really connect to that. I mean, it was like an eye opener to me when I read that quote. Let me read it out to all of you. And just just see if somewhere something, you might also have a very what do you say, a rebellious thought about this whole poem, but it is something which is very subtly, I'm sure, through the weeks, Arthi, Prabha, and when I'm there, you will understand what this actually means. Okay, he says, your children are not your children. They are the sons and daughters of life's longing for itself. They have come through you, but they are not yours. Okay. And though they are with you, yet they belong not to you. No, but as parents, I think this is the first and foremost thing that we need to understand. Every time, like Prabha said, if I am not a doctor, I would want my child to be one. Whatever was probably curbed in me, whatever was not allowed to be expressed in me, I try to see it and I try to express it through my child. So this is one of the aspects of parenting, which many of us are doing it unconsciously. It's something that's become so innate in us that we've become like Dhritarashtra. We don't see that. We would just quell it and say, no, this is the right thing. I'm thinking the right thing for my child. And this is how we generally move. So this is as in how we go through these classes, I'm sure, portions and portions of Khalil Gibran's poem will unfold for all of us. So let me, this is just the first thing that I just wanted to, it's a snippet of it. So Arthi, anything else that, you want to?
So very important, right? It's very, very subconscious. We may do some things unconsciously. We may do something consciously also, but many times it's very unconscious. We don't even know that this is where we are coming from, right? So the first step for us, why to really step back, we are very reactive with parenting many times. We just, this comes up. So this, okay, oh, that child is doing it. Oh, I even feel like my child should do it. Yeah. I know it would be so nice. Somebody say something very nice about the child. Yeah, even my child, I would like this to happen. And this is like giving a free leash to the mind, my mind. And in that process, my mind, my senses, I look at this, I want this for my child. I will look at this, I want this for my child also. And in this whole process, what I'm doing is I am pulling the child in all directions. And this child is getting all confused. And, so it is this mind that I have to really leash and tie down in my own way, right? So, it is a journey of understanding ourselves. It's a beautiful thought that she has given. This child that has come as part of our life is not mine, but has come through me and it does not belong to me. Right? It is like there is also this beautiful saying of how a nurse tends to a patient. Okay. Takes care of them completely with complete involvement, sits there, emotional support. What does the child need also? Physical supports, emotional support, social support, and spiritual support. If we have that kind of an, inclination. So like that, the nurse is giving all these. And the moment that patient is ready to move on or is leaving the hospital, she has no problem. She just moves on to the next. Right? So there is a complete involvement, but yet there's no attachment here. It's not like this is mine, right? So with that absolute care, with that absolute love, it is a responsibility given to us, and it's a beautiful responsibility, and it's a beautiful also not just responsibility, it can be a beautiful journey of learning for us also. We are discovering the world with this child. It's so beautiful. But can I not say, put too much of the me and mine in this whole parenting, and it takes a while for us to understand where that me and mine is. I have been living life in one certain way, and suddenly this child comes and is rocking me, and I'm seeing so many things. Whenever I find those agitations, it's a way for me to move ahead. So we looked at this Dhritarashtra parenting and the Pandu parenting, and how we am I pulled by the world? Is my parenting pulled by the world, or is my parenting going guided by my inner compass? Inner compass. So I would like to open this up to a few questions, thoughts from all of you. Any thoughts that are coming to you, any questions that are coming to your mind at this point in time, to the audience? What are the challenges we find with parenting? Even every day can be a challenge. Sometimes.
No, 1 minute.
What is your challenge?
What are the challenges? What is your idea about
parenting?
What is your idea about parenting? Because challenges are going to be there. When we say challenges, in each of our mind, it's like, that Hanuman's tail which grew and grew in Lanka. That's how it's going to be. But then, so let's first find out what actually we think about parenting. From there, probably we can go a little deeper. Why don't you unmute yourselves?
Or you can raise your hand, whatever it is. Or you can put in chat.
Yeah, when I had my child, I had no idea of parenting at all. I was a child even at 25. And when I held my child, when he demanded chocolate, I was also feeling like eating the chocolate. The thought came at that time. So when I'm not mature enough to handle a child, it is like a doll in my arms. How to handle him? Though I was not pulled by the world, I guided him according to the conscious, like how my parent treated me opposite to that. They wanted me as per the world, but I didn't want my son. The same thing happened to my son. But everything went well. Again, at the end, it is destiny. It took some other turn. At that 25, I did not have this education. 25 to until he was up to 18 or 20. We had no kind of education like this and the facilities. Now we regret, but at last I got this and I can be happy with whatever happened is Krishna's will. And
See,
now I can.
Arthi is very
Uh.
interesting because I think Swami Vivekananda used to keep telling that in his Karma Yoga chapter, that sometimes we think that that we want to do selfless service for the society. We want to do this. We want to do this. If I have an opportunity, if I get a sabbatical from work, I want to do this, 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 this. And sometimes we also boast about how much sacrifice I'm doing as a parent and how much like that. But sometimes it's so important that that spirituality growth actually happens as a parenting journey itself.
Yeah.
You don't need to do specifically doing anything society service, but how selfless I am. So that maturity is saying, so when we all have a child, we might be in our 20s, early 20s, those generation early 20s, now late 20s or late 30s, whatever. But that stage of going of raising my child is also raising ourselves.
Yeah.
Then
No,
that
the thing is, if I had little background like this, little better education, I could have given him a better life. That is my feeling. Unnecessarily, we crushed our children, his childhood, his youth, without the proper education or said samskara, whatever. But it's very nice. It's for a good early parenting.
Thank you, Bhargavi. Thank you.
Bhargavi,
Yeah.
Anyone
like-
else want to share?
I would just like to add,
Yes.
please don't feel, that, okay, life is always understood in respect, So therefore, when we say, I could have been like this, if I had this education, I would have done this way, I would have done that way. And like you said, it's so beautiful that you understood. I mean, probably the whole lesson was for you to understand that it is Krishna's hand, like how you believe in Krishna. I'm understanding that it is that divine force which is acting, guiding you in, even when you had that little child in your hand and you didn't have that, idea of you in your mind, you felt it. You also were a child and you didn't have that, knowledge, or you didn't have that capability. But I'm sure it's not all a journey of, this is not right, I haven't done this right, I haven't done that right. When you look at your child and you see certain qualities in that child, that's good, or that's something which is nice, you also understand that has also come from you. Okay, somewhere that child has picked it up from you. So I don't think you should feel bad that I didn't have this parenting course. It's like Arthi saying about the inner compass, we are all tuned to that. But what this course, or this parenting course, is trying to bring about is for you to be able to be more aware of that inner compass, for you actually anchor yourself in that inner compass so that you are able to perform much better. That's all.
Thank you.
Over to Anu. I think she has raised hand.
Good morning, ma'am. So this aspect of karma yoga, where we say karm kar phal ka ichha mat kar, and when we are putting efforts towards children, maintaining a routine for them, sending them to tuition classes, doing everything possible what is best for children, and we have certain expectations out of that. That, okay, I have been telling my child this from such a long time, and why is it not happening? Why is it not happening at all? I'm doing everything possible from my side. So that kind of expectations, the disappointment, and how to sustain that, sustain the effort, and not have to have a separate journey from the child, just to do what we have to do and not really expect. That part is quite hard. So I'm hoping that I'll get some insights on that.
Yeah, it's very intellectual in a way, right? We keep it at an intellect level, we sing, but has it really become part of me sometimes is the question, right? Whether it's internalized. This parenting, when we say Khalil Gibran's this thing, the child has come through me and is not mine, in a way itself means that I have my own life and the child is going to have his own life. Okay, there is a period of overlap where for a while we are on this journey together, because this child is, and it is this child which is seeking everything from us. This child is saying, okay, I need a physical security right now because I'm not physically completely able yet. I need emotional support from this person, from my parents, because it's their survival that for which we are there as part of them. It is for their survival. Okay, it is when we take it as our it's just our duty to perform it as an act of service to God, that this child has come into our world, and we do it that way. So then this child needs social security, and there will be a point when this child will start having their own thoughts, their own ways of living, their own feelings, their own, and which may be different from mine, and that is completely all right, because this is a completely different individual. This is a completely different individual which has taken this life for its own purpose. And I have my own purpose. So through this connection, it is, that Kurukshetra war where Arjuna is sitting, is there in the middle of that Kurukshetra, and Lord Krishna is giving, he is there. It's a kshetra. It became a dharma kshetra for him. That Kurukshetra became a dharma kshetra for him, where in that conflict, he grew and he found his true self, and it became a spiritual journey for him. So similarly, this parenting, marriage, all of this becomes our own spiritual journey in our own way. That this becomes our kshetra, our dharma kshetra for our evolution. That conflict is because what I'm expecting to happen is not happening in this from my child or whatever. But if I understand that that is the child's journey and I am going through my journey, and we will go through it as is ordained to us, bestowed upon us. But that is what this journey is all about. It's very easy to say, right? It's very easy to say all this, but to internalize this and to really, and that is the journey that we are going to go through. We have to go through that journey. It will come at some point in time.
And it's a journey. The journey of parenting is so important for us. Is a journey in this parenting, just like in our work life also, or in a husband-wife relationship. There are expectations which sometimes arises. It kind of sprouts. It kind of, when I'm in a relationship, we expect that, okay, when I write a WhatsApp message, we expect that that person has double tick, it's blue, and we expect that an answer comes immediately or right. When that answer does not come, the story starts weaving into our head. I'm disrespected, or the person does not care for me. The person is not putting this as top priority. So sometimes, most of the time, our mind starts putting stories. So sometimes if our child is not, we are taking so much of effort, even in a tiffin box, if we take effort in making special items for a tiffin box, and the child does not come back and say, Amma, it was so fantastic, because that was what I am expecting. It was like a vision of mine. It's like a thing that, you're expecting the child coming and, totally superbly coming and hugging, what, you are so outstanding. You are a great mom. I see your dabba is, it's so fantastic. And the child just comes back home. You had that vision in your mind. And the child comes back home, puts the bag just pot like that. And then, Amma, I'm going out to play. That's it. The vision is cracked completely, right? That cracked image brings about so much of inner turmoil, inner this thing, and everything just spills out one day as a volcano. Then we become like some kind of a Rudra Rupi only, right? How can you be, so ungrateful? This is some words we use. How can you disregard what I'm doing, how much I'm doing? I am not even working because of you. I'm sitting here and doing these things from you from morning till evening, worrying about you. And here you disregard. This is how you do. And you think that I'm going to do more and more. I'm sitting here and doing more and more. And this is what you're going to see. And when we are saying all this, imagine what is the, that inner, it's like a volcano completely, lava splitting out. So this is where most of the time, it's so important at that time, that's why they say, the pause button. The pause button when we put these expectations. So sometimes even writing in a journal helps a lot. Putting that, what am I expecting? Sometimes we expect so much from our spouse, expect from our in-laws. It's like how you see in movies. You feel that kind of an image, or reference points. Sometimes we see in novels, and that is where you expect, and immediately the person is not acting as you expected. Everything goes for a toss. So this is where, like, somebody have written that sometimes we look back in our life, and many times we feel that and when we are right now, we think that, I have been a really bad in doing some things as a parent, and I'm feeling really guilty. So many times that guilt factor starts coming, and when that guilt factor adds on, because we add on more and more layers, so instead of the rectification, what happens, the layers of guilt happens in such a way that we slowly start shifting towards the drashta parenting, because then we want to do everything for the child. Whatever the child wants, I want to do, because I'm a guilty mom or a guilty parent. So that is where every time in life we need to remember that, yeah, we have done something previously in our previous experiences. That was an experience. What should I learn from that experience? So I have a freedom of choice. I have a freedom of choice that I can feel a totally guilty mom, guilty parent, and then lead the rest of the life in a total guilt mode, always trying to apologize and trying to make up for my child for what I have not done. Or I have a freedom to ensure that, okay, I did this at that time. Maybe at that time the understanding was not good. What do I learn? Okay, what do I learn? And now what can I, what should be now? With that learning, how do I proceed further? So that proceed further should be like a celebration. That enjoying that process itself is, it's so important. It should be when we are raising a child with guilt mode, with expectation mode, with already a reference point, a role model, a kind of a way, or this is what he or she has to be, and I want to make sure that I mold her like that. Sometimes we think we are the sculptor. Actually, so that is so important here, is how am I as a parent? So actually now we can move on to the next topic, isn't it? I think Shubha needs to leave for the conference. So
I'm leaving for the conference. Just before I leave, I just wanted to say, Prabha, that see, if all of us just look, maybe I do not know how many of us have a very, very good open relationship with our parents, as against how a beautiful bond forms with the grandparent, right? A food for thought here for all of us is, why is that so? Because as grandparents, they don't have that, they are like open. Like you said, Prabha said, there is no guilt, there is no pressure of parenting which comes in. So therefore that the field opens up for us, saying, fine, it's a child. There might be an attachment. I'm not saying there's no attachment, but there is wisdom. There is, there is an openness more so in grandparents. So let's not go to the stage of becoming grandparent and saying, okay, maybe, let's not celebrate life that way. Let's celebrate life through the parenting journey. This is what I think we can all, anchor into through this course. And with this, I will make a move because I'm attending a conference. Okay, see you all.
thank you. Over to Arthi for the next
Yeah.
topic.
So the one thing we can all tune into and say is, whatever has happened in the past has happened, but we start from this point and say, this journey from this point, how I want it to be. Because we, regrets, there are two ways to parent. One is when I hit a crisis and then I'm trying to, now I'm trying to find a way out. Then what happens when I've hit a crisis, I will have a whole lot of regrets and guilt. Oh, now I'll learn a few things and I'll say, oh, I wish I had done this. I wish that's pointless in a way. So we say, okay, better late than never, but I have got it right now. So I will start my journey from now. Or the other way is, I'm getting into parenting. I want to know the beautiful ways. I want to become an aware parenting. And for that, I want to learn more. So if the child is young still, I don't have to hit a crisis. I start, it's like a user manual kind of, even learning. Every washing machine comes with a user manual. This thing, a microwave comes with, everything comes with a user manual, but we start parenting and we start learning on the way. A little bit of guidance here and there. There's no clear prescription, but then at least, if we sort out our mind, we get certain thoughts, it becomes very easy for us on the journey. At least I know what to expect in a way, and I can, my questions can be answered and all that. So as the next stage, we are just going to take a contemporary situation and show you a role play of what happens in a different way. We are a part of one world. We have grown up in a certain way, and in this new world, there are so many new challenges. So in that case, how do I communicate with the child, right? So initially we looked at what is the intention behind my parenting, and then how do I become an efficient parent, and now how can I effectively communicate with the child? So that is what we are going to kind of just do a small role play for you all, and then we will again open it up for questions with you all.
Ushashri ji has written in the last sentence, can we bring a change in oneself now? It's so important that actually, of course, in medically also, right, how you are right today, you're different tomorrow, because the cells are kind of constantly, changing, and the dead cells are going. And so in the same way, every day is like a very beautifully, like Swami Chinmayananda ji writes, it's an inner metamorphosis. Very beautiful that sentence, that word was inner metamorphosis. And it is every day, it is possible as long as you are keen to change yourself. It all happens with oneself. And when you are keen to change yourself, then it beautifully reflects on our relationships, because on the way we perceive things in life, on the way we look at things in our life. So it's like a wide sky, but I'm right now looking through a small lens. But that lens could be green, black, gray, everything. But the moment we just come out, we are actually looking at the sky. So the changing oneself is how we are looking. And it is absolutely possible. Every minute it is possible.
Yeah, our awareness. The only thing we can do is we cannot change the other. We cannot change anybody in a relationship. The only person that can take responsibility is myself, and how I can be more aware every moment of my life.
Yes. So Arthi, shall we do the role play?
Chalo, okay. So now Prabha will be the child and I will be a parent. Okay. Hey, Prabha, what is this? You've been watching the mobile from that time. I want you to put it down now. Go and study.
Ma, every time, Ma, what is this, Ma? I want to watch. You don't know. You also sit and watch, no? You sit and watch your mobile, no? Like that, I want to watch now.
Oh, what is this? Why are you talking like this? See, you just 10 years old. You cannot talk like this to your parents. What kind of a tone is that you're using right now?
Why I can't talk to you like that? Why?
You can't talk like that. What is this? This generation children, I don't know what has gotten to you. We all never used to speak to our parents like this.
You stop this lecturing. Every time you lecture, you start saying this generation children, this generation children. I'm a little bored of it.
So, okay, sorry.
Actually, more like I'm talking more like a teenager, actually. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah. And Prabha, I want you to put that mobile down right now. Otherwise, I'm going to go and tell your father.
Every time you do this only, Amma. Okay. As you want this, I'm going to do that. That's it. And then I'm putting the phone.
Yeah, I know best. I know what is good for you. Okay. I know that this mobile is not right now. And now sit and study, put that mobile down. Otherwise, I will confiscate it and I'll put it inside. You will not have the mobile for a week.
You are such a bad mom. You are so bad. You're a mean mom. Okay. So
okay, this is one situation. Now the alternate situation.
Yeah.
Okay. Prabha, what are you doing right now, Ma?
I'm watching Pokemon.
Okay, but You have an exam coming. Are you all prepared with it? Is it okay?
Yeah, I'm all set. After finishing this now, I will read a little bit and I'm set. That's it.
Okay. How long have you been watching this mobile right now?
I don't know.
Sometimes, you know what, we may think we're just watching it for 5 minutes, but it goes for half an hour and your time can go completely off. So just be very conscious of your time. You know, keep a watch. Even if I understand when you're studying, you need a little bit of a break. But just put a reminder on your or some, an alarm. So you just do watching it for like 10 minutes, you taken a break and then you come back to it. Because otherwise your time is just going to go completely off. And actually, at the time of exam, do you really need to watch a mobile? It's better if you want to come and walk out and sit with me and talk maybe for 10 minutes. Why don't we just have a good time?
Amma, I don't want to talk to you, Amma. I want to watch Pokemon. But you know what? I'm going to sit here. I'll sit here. I'll watch 10 minutes. I'm going to put 10 minutes. And then after 10 minutes, you can give me a call. I will get up and then I'll study. And after some time, again, I want to have a break. And again, I'll come and sit and watch. If you allow me, then I'm okay.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah, just be careful. Yeah, but good. You have put a plan in place and just make sure you stick with it and you have your exam. So I know you're very responsible. I completely have faith in you. So just go ahead and, take care of yourself. Okay, study well. Enjoy.
Okay, Ma, you chill, Ma. I will do. You don't worry. I'll study. I'll study and I will watch also. Please, thank you.
Yeah.
Actually, so it's not necessary the child says thank you also. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, the child will not say thank you. They'll say okay only. But a general situation here of how our words, whether they come out through trust and understanding and choice. When I am saying something, am I giving the child a choice in something, or am I giving, does it come out as, am I forcing the child? Right? This
Sometimes
makes
it's so important,
a
no,
difference.
Arthi, in our work life also, right? In our work life, and we have a boss sitting there and giving us a deadline, the boss comes and towers on us and says that, you know what, I had given you a deadline. Where is it? And then constantly the deadline, where is it? Where is the deadline? Have you finished that? Have you finished it? And suddenly you feel so pressurized. So much of pressure comes and it sometimes, again, it spills out. So again, as parent also, sometimes we do really act like a boss because we want to make sure that if I am saying my way is highway, that's it. So, very interesting, nice dialogues comes in movies also. So, I am saying it. So you better follow me. So, you better do what I am saying because I know what is good for you. So it's everything. It is I know what is important for you.
This is only right? That is wrong. This is right. You're wrong. I'm right.
You're wrong. That's it. You don't know anything. I know how it is to be a parent. I know the tension. I know that if you sit and watch your mobile like this, you're going to spoil your eyes. It's going to spoil your brain cells. You're not going to study. And then if you don't study, then my parents will come and say, what, Prabha, you are being such a bad parent. I didn't know that you're not taking care of your child very well. How I have taken care of. See, you know what? The world spins is all about me at that time. It's like, I want to ensure that.
What will somebody think about me?
Yes.
As a parent, if you don't get good scores, if you don't do anything, that other child, then it is like a failure of my parenting if you don't score well.
Yes. If the child brings a report card and the mother sees a 30 out of 100, first thing it strikes to them, oh my God, now is my child this? What will people think of my child? What will people think of me? What have I brought up my child as? So suddenly in a PTM meeting, the teacher says that, you know what, your child is a slow learner. Immediately it starts bringing a lot of turmoil. It's suddenly you're not thinking about the child. Oh my God, is my child having trouble? No, at that time, it's so difficult to accept that how can my child not learn English so well? I have been very good in English. I have been very good in math. And how can my child? So it's so much here in the role models when we do here today is everything is about me. Me. And from parent, we say that we are a parent as a word there, but it is actually about me. So that's a very hard throw actually, but that is what it is.
And when it comes out as me and mine, that's when it becomes forceful parenting, forceful communication. when it is about me and mine. But if I am with the child and look at it as my role as being here to guide the child, not to put my opinion or anything, just guide the child, then my whole communication comes as there will be a choice. It's like the child can make the decision. I give that child the choice how, and that is more empowering for the child. They learn how to do. As a child, one child will be so scared of the parent that they will do whatever. And I will think, oh, this child is such an obedient child, doing whatever I'm telling them to. Very good child. Okay. And another child will be a rebel and not want to, because they want to have their own mind. They want to, and they are trying to exercise their individuality. But this parent, it is not as per how the parent wants it to be. So then this child is a very troublemaker, tyrant. And then what happens, the gap between the parent and the child, when that choice is not there, that gap between the parent and the child keeps growing and it becomes very difficult. Believe me, if the communication between the parent and the child is not effective, the child is getting a lot of narratives from the world, right? And the adult, that trusted adult, if they don't have a trusted adult to whom they can go and get a counter narrative to the narrative that they always trust their parents. They come and ask, but am I equipped enough to communicate with them in the right way? Or do I bring my own beliefs, my own filters in this communication? Then they'll just shut. They'll say, okay, Amma overreacts. Amma pushes me into these things. I cannot go and talk to her. Or Appa does this. Appa is always, no. These days, children very influenced by Western world and all this. You people are saying all these things. You say my life, my this thing. Typical dialogues. But this does nothing to the child, really. It doesn't help guide the child at all in any way. So that open communication is a very solid ground needed for the child, where I can just be a listener, and where it is needed, where the child asks me, I guide them. If I hold that kind of an open communication, they come back to me. They will feel free to come back to me. Yes, Drishya has been raising her hand for a very long time.
Yeah, see, I just wanted to ask the question after that role play, actually. My question is, what next? Basically, that is where I'm always getting stuck. I know that I have to deal calm. I have to give them the space. Now, my daughter, so the typical case over here. She's like, okay, I have a homework to do. I have a, say, vacation homework to finish up. And then it's just an example for you to understand how actually it happens. So I have a vacation homework to do. 2 weeks goes by like that. You keep reminding her. And then today is the first day in school. You're supposed to submit it after 2 days. She goes down to play. So I'm asking her, Arthi, you wanted to study? You wanted to do the homework? Same as what it is told her. It's like, okay, yeah, I'll do after half an hour. I'll do after this. I'll do after that. She never finishes. Or probably even if she wants to finish, it is at that midnight, she would sit at 10 o'clock in the night to do this, where she can't get up next day morning. And I get stuck to that. I mean, I don't know, even if you say that put the responsibility on the kid.
But does she finish her work by 10 o'clock?
She might start at times at 10 o'clock, realizing that, oh, I forgot, this is where I have to start.
But she finishes.
No, not always. Once in a while she finishes, once in a while she does not finish. Many things, as you said, see, I don't get carried away by the world. But yeah, I definitely have got the feedback from my parents that, see, if you would have taken care a little more, she would have performed better. Yeah, at times I myself have that guilt carried with me. I am not able to sit with my kids, my work, and then my priorities after 9:30, where she actually comes and sit at home. Till then, she's all busy with her work, busy with her games, studies, or studies in the sense different classes. But I'm not able to sit with her and actually teach. Basically, if somebody is asking you, are you teaching her for half an hour or something? No, I am not teaching her. I'm not able. Am I giving her the responsibility? Yes, but again, she's not able to complete. This is just one part of it.
Okay, we will stick to this, Drishya, for now. Just to give an idea based on whatever discussions have happened here. So, what is the reason?
Let me come to my question.
Oh, question has not come.
No, so this is one situation. So basically, that's with my elder one I'm talking about. So, giving responsibilities to the kid, my question is basically, is it worth giving the responsibility completely on to the child when it comes to a toddler or a preteen? I understand, yeah, giving a responsibility to somebody, because when Prabha ma'am took that example of our boss sitting on us on a deadline, if even I put that in two different ways, where a responsible employee and a non-responsible employee, or a grad who's coming to join, you might need a separate guidance for a grad and for somebody who's already been with the organization for some time. So same way with a child who is too young to take the responsibility, and who's already should have been responsible like a teen. So is it worth putting, and I know it is not a single prescription for everybody, but is it worth putting that responsibility to a younger kid completely?
Thanks, Drishya. It's a very, very interesting and very important question. Over to Arthi. You want to start?
The one question in my mind that is coming here is, yes, you're right. According to the age of a child, it differs how much responsibility you can give. It does differ, right? Like you said, as a new employee, how much responsibility you give to that person, and as a experienced employee, how much responsibility you give. But the question here is, giving a certain responsibility, even a school gives a child only as much as that child can do. But am I taking the role of doing it for the child, or am I taking the role of guiding my child into it? Right? So when I say I come up with guilt, whatever Prabha said, right? Am I coming from there? Then it becomes a me and mine again. My guilt, maybe my child. So when I come from that me and mine, it comes in a very distorted way. And if I can put that to rest and just look at the child and what am I practicing? My reflection on myself. I'm not saying this is what we are doing, but am I bringing the me and mine when I am saying this? Or am I just guiding the child to do whatever they can according to their ability?
And it's so interesting that it's very important that we talk about empowerment. So here, as a parent also, it's like you are powering the child. You are playing a small, minute role in that. Whether the child catching the bus in the morning, there is so much tension of catching the bus in the morning, because we start pushing that, because we don't want the child to miss the bus. But so the child is in her or his own very calm and casual zone, going to the bathroom, closing the eyes, sitting there in the potty, all these things will be there. But here you are tensed in the morning because you don't want the child to miss the bus. What if you are in such a way that ensuring that the child is also bearing the consequences? Sometimes we also protect in that way, because we don't want the child to bear we don't want the child to miss the bus. But you know what? The beautiful powering or learning happens when sometimes the child little bit bears the consequences sometimes. So at that time, You just once experiment in stepping back and saying that, you know what, the bus comes at 7:10 a.m. I have decided today to be in Mauna. Okay, it's very difficult. And I'll prepare the tiffin dabba and keep it. I just wanted to let you know before. Okay, that day, the child might miss the bus. Okay, but at that time, you are not become a Rudra Rupi or your father who is going to say, I told you so. We have these dialogues, right? I told you so, you will miss the bus. Like that. At that time, we say, oh, you missed the bus. Okay, you sit. But today, your time of TV is mainly 5 to 6 in the evening. So I just would like to tell you that. And I'm going, I'll be keeping my tiffin dabba here for you, so you can have that. So sometimes a small child, you'll be amazed to see that even our 7 or 8-year-old child, when faced with such consequences, suddenly it hits them. And I have seen it seriously for my son itself. When he was a kind of a child at that time, he would be in his own imaginary face, and I'm here like a Rudra Rupi. Oh my God, 7-2, 7-3, 7-4, it is happening. It's going to come. Why are you sitting? You not put socks also. One socks only is there, another socks will be different color. So there is so much tension. By the time it is 7:15, you're taking, oh my God, I am tense. You were going through a kind of a period there. So the moment the responsibility was given, he missed the bus, not once, he missed 2, he missed 3, he missed 5 times. He realized sitting at home is very, very boring. He understood how to do this thing. After some time, he decided that I decided only I'll call him. This time I'm calling you. 7 o'clock, dinner, breakfast is served, you can come to the table. I am going to be at peace. And after 5-6 times of missing, he started coming. The empowering happens like that. That is, the child right now is not done homework. The child is facing the consequences in school, saying to the teacher, you know what, I did not do homework, ma'am. The child faces that. But when the child comes back, you are not going to shout at the child, I told you so, you should have listened to me. That is why the teacher is so angry with you. No. Oh, is that so? The teacher told you that. What would you like to do, Amok? What would you like to do? Let me know. You know what, Amma? I have decided I'm going to do this. You are there powering your child. It makes a huge difference. It makes a very big difference. Just trust me. And each child is different. Each sibling is different. So you have to be like, that's why I said, this journey, it's a fantastic journey of your own self-empowerment, and you're playing a role in empowering your child to bear the consequences, to power it, to be there for your child and not put your usual dialogues. Fathers have very usual dialogues. Mothers have very usual dialogues. We should not go into that zone. And sometimes some of you will say, I can't help if my husband talks like that. I can't help if my wife talks. You start changing yourself. That is most important. That's there. Over to Arthi.
And also after 2 times, sometimes we will hear all this Gyan, and then two times we will say, okay, I will let go. Okay. Now let this child do it. Okay. And in the 2 days, I'm just watching. Are they changing? Okay. It is there in the head completely. And then the 3rd day, I can't control myself anymore. And I'll say, I tried, but this child just won't change. He is like this only. She is like this only. Okay, so it is actually me. I'm not, maybe the child needs more time. Every child has its own journey. Instead of supporting, maybe we can guess, maybe you should get up 5 minutes early. Maybe you should get 10 minutes early. Relax. It will happen. You will learn. That trust, that this thing. And am I ready to be with this child to learn through their own failures? And not make that failure mine, not get restless through that failure that they are going, because through failures only one gets empowered. If I keep spoon feeding the child, if I keep making, okay, this child doesn't know, I'll only put the socks, I will only do this, I will only pack the bag. I've told this child so many times, he doesn't take responsibility, I will only pack the bag in the evening, I do everything. What are you doing? You're crippling the child. There is a story of how, in a family, very big, a family of, say joint family. In that joint family, there's this first child which came. Everybody is like, oh, wow, this first child. The child will throw the ball, was just crawling. And then this child will throw the ball. And somebody from there will immediately throw the ball back. Another, you will throw the ball to another, the child will again be playing with the ball, somebody will throw the ball back. The child never learned to crawl properly to go and pick up the ball because somebody was always helping the child. It didn't grow to its full potential. The more we try to hold on and do and feel responsible and tell this, that this child is not, wherever every seed, we put ragi seeds in our farm. Few seeds will come the first day. After 5 days, another few seeds will grow. After 10 days, another few seeds will grow. Every child has its own, sprouting time. Am I ready to wait, not get restless? Because now I'm thinking result. That child will learn. 5 days, they miss 3, like what Prabha said. And also what will happen is this child typically 1 day they missed, the next 1 week, wonderfully it will go. Again, they will go back to their real nature. It takes time to come out. We all do that, right? For us, is it easy to change our habits? But we want this child to change their habit.
Arthi, for a woman suddenly married to a family, okay? You go to a family, you have your in-laws there. And then in-laws have different kind of a set schedule and a set beliefs and a set pattern and culture or whatever it is. Is it possible for you as a newly married girl or a newly married woman to immediately change to that side within 5 days or 1 month? And then suddenly the mother-in-law comes and says it, been there for 1 month and still you don't know our family values and our culture and how it brings about a discomfort in you. This is where, but if we have a mother-in-law there and say, I know it will take time. It's okay, Prabha. You take your time to get blended with the family, with how we do sambar itself. Each day, each family sambar is different, right? So I'm just telling. So that is the way we empower our child, ensuring that we give time. We give time, like how she talked about Ragi. We give time for the child. The child again falls, again makes a mess. We are there for the child, saying that, oh, is that what happened? I am there. Tell me what happened. What do you think went wrong? That communication channel is so important. That I'm there. You're not sitting and lecturing, saying that, you should have done like this. Allow the child to think what went wrong. Allow the child
basically that fine line
yes.
to, to really, so now you spoke about in-laws thing. There's a fine line here between a mother asking that, a mother-in-law asking that, and the daughter-in-law who comes in, who wants to change or who don't want to change. And then a daughter-in-law who is thinking in that terms. A daughter-in-law might not think in that terms also. The same with the kids also, isn't it? I mean, see, my daughter, even if I am taking things quite calmly, doesn't mean that my kid is going to react or is going to progress in such a way. So how do we understand that fine line? So now you say that, see, you put the responsibilities of studies on her. But how do I understand if she will progress or she will not? Or how long can I take? So that is where the challenge comes in for me.
I have lost all my that we are saying how long, how will I understand is putting a lot of expectations still there in this head. I'm not walking with the child. I am leading. I want to lead the child still somewhere to some destination. First of all, can I let go of where I want this child to go and just walk with this child, guiding, and know that they will reach where they are supposed to reach.
Is it okay? Is it possible to let go that way, to that extent?
It is.
Yes, it is.
That is how it should be.
Yeah. It is her self-journey, Drasya.
Yeah, because that's where she has to lead is in your mind. Where she has to go is in your mind.
See, it's not specifically
somewhere
about
I got
where
this
she
very
has to
strong
go.
belief that this is how it should be. And I want that child to walk that belief. But that child is a completely different individual.
It's not that you are leaving the child and just sitting there. It's not like you're leaving. You're there for the child. Remember that there is a fine line there. So it's not like you are there. It's like how Swami Vivekananda actually talks about this nurse there. The nurse is there guiding the child, the patient, taking care of the patient, everything. But there is a kind of a sense of fine line. The nurse is not expecting the patients to be like that. Same way, you are there for the child. You are making sure that the sitting with the child, having an open line of channel. You're not having your own expectations of list that the child has to be doing this, has to come to this level, has to climb this thing, has to ensure because I used to do homework very well. I was a very obedient student. So I want to ensure my child is also very obedient. So we have all these reference points also. And then I want to ensure that my child finishes the homework correct on time. If one day the child does not finish homework, there is turmoil in us. The child is absolutely not bothered, but turmoil is in us. Child is but when the child goes to school, she or he faces the consequences. At that time when the child
Now,
comes,
if there is no consequence,
see the
simple example,
you are thinking consequences should be coming with scolding. Consequences need not be scolding. Other friends could have just submitted. There might be a sense of something lacking. Oh, maybe I should also have submitted. You don't need to think that consequences has to be bad consequences. Yes, Arthi.
Again, it's a very, very tight balance that we are playing. It doesn't mean completely I let go also. It's a very fine balance. I am an observer. I am just observing at all point in time as this child is doing. And when I observe and I let this child do what they are doing, at the right time, I also sometimes have to intervene. The child doesn't know everything, what they are struggling. Say they are struggling. A little child is trying to climb up onto a sofa. Okay. They're trying to climb up onto the sofa. If the moment you see them struggling, you push them up, they are never going to learn. And they won't have that sense of I did it also. If you push them up, right? They won't have that sense of, oh, now I can do it. I could do it. That is also not it. Or if you allow them to struggle too much also, and they get frustrated, then, if you see, you just sit there and observe what is happening. And then you just say, little bit of one, you just put the hand down first. Maybe that will give the child a little bit of strength in the heart. We'll try a little harder. A little nudge is enough. Don't push them all the way. If they are reaching frustration, if they are getting anxious, then you step in. We let them try, but if you see that in the trial, after trying, they're not able to do much, then a little, that initial phase, then we step in. It's not completely saying, okay, it's their responsibility, it's whatever they are doing, I will do my work, I'll let go. So this is a very fine balance of observing and holding back and doing when it is needed. And it is a journey. And knowing that each child has their own journey, and it's a wonderful way to really reflect on this is to know, as a boss, if a boss comes and talks to me, how would I want him to act with me? If I am struggling with a work, we have all this wonderful gyan. What is this guy? He comes and he should tell this, no, he should do this, no. We have all the gyan when they have to do it to us. Apply that for the child also. It may still be different according to the child, but it's a good, trying to put yourself in their shoes kind of.
And it is not an overnight journey that
it's not going to happen.
It's a journey of one own, like I said, and the metamorphosis comes. So this 8 weeks, I think you have registered for the course. So that's why I see your name also. So you would find that the churning happens within these 8 weeks. And within this churning happens, you will understand. And some people I see last parenting session, 2-3 people have rejoined again, because it helps to revisit the sessions, because it helps to re-emphasize. And the child has grown within 1 year or 2 years, that you might be facing new issues, new problems. Now, how do I empower myself? How do I ensure I raise myself? So this is where raising oneself becomes very important. And that way, as a parent, am I filled with compassion and that real selfless, unconditional love? There is a very beautiful in Ardha Bhakti Sutras, it comes. That is, what is that prema and what is kama? We think that kama is all only about lust, but kama is actually about possession, about putting conditional. The conditional love is kama. That is that I have these conditions that I will love you, I will really adore you if you follow, or if you are like this. If my child is this, and if the child is following this, then I'm going to really beautifully love you. And there is a thing called prema. Actually, it is unconditional love. There is no condition there. Absolutely. So when we are interacting with the child, we need to have a self-inquiry there within ourselves. Am I completely with total love and compassion and with all that I'm sitting with the child? Or I'm just sitting with the child thinking that I'm so pressured to be a parent. I want my child to be like this. I want my child to grow like this, like this. I want my child to ensure that she learns ABC within this particular year. So, we go to schools, they say like that, some schools, when you go for interview, you ask about the school, they will say, by the time your child reaches LKG, he or he would have finished all the alphabet learning. She would have finished all this. Are? This is not what of the child. Then the child, for example, is not able to complete this. The school informs you, and then there is total disappointment. So all that suddenly from the love, it comes to anger, it comes to concern, it comes to disappointment, it comes to depression, it comes to what will anyone think of me? Why did it happen to me? Why me? Why me? I have intelligent genes. My husband has intelligent genes. What happened? What's wrong with my child? Suddenly, the way you look at the child, and we will say that I don't say anything to my child, but the child feels the energy. The energy is felt by the child. So this is where each and every time why I am emphasizing that is we raise ourselves. We do have that change, transformation of oneself. Right now, how you have joined the course and how you are over the journey, because the child is changing every time. The hormonals are changing. So even now you will find that, during the course, I'm finding my communication of child has improved. After 2 years, the child has entered teenagehood and immediately the child is changing the way of their communication. Again, you're faced with new challenges. Again, what do I do? So, but that is the time, again, you're taking it up as a very beautiful thing that, okay, maybe it's again my journey to look at my child, not with conditions. Am I having that connection with unconditional way? So that is the transformation we go in the, it's not only, it helps as a parent, it helps ourselves, because we move from that conditional to unconditional. It helps in all our relationships, and whether it is at workplace or it is at our home space, it will help. And it helps also inner space. They say, sukha, dukkha. Dukkha comes when dukkha means there is a uncomfortable, discomforting space. That is the dukkha. And why it happens? Because of these conditions, because of these stories in our head. We have these expectations. We want this outcome, this particular outcome in my child. This is the way I have pictured my child as to be, and the child has to go like this. Or sukha is a good space where, I'm there. I'm going to have my self journey. I'm going to be evolving myself. And when you evolve,
I'm accepting the situation as it is.
Absolutely. The acceptance to appreciations, it starts that acceptance to appreciation to absolute unconditional love. It's a beautiful journey, actually. And so
Tejomayananda ji says, unconditional love is when love is in spite of, not because of. Because this person does this to me, I love him. Because this person is like this, I love him. Or this person is, some couples, this person, all the negatives they bring up, but still, I love this person. Okay? Unconditional love is not because of, unconditional love is in spite of. And the child, when well supported, it doesn't matter if they're struggling in their studies right now, but what matters if their confidence is not strong. It's not the mark which is going to take them through. It is their confidence, how empowered they feel, how secure they feel. And the child is learning from observing us rather than what we are teaching them. They are not learning. You tell you should be very hardworking. You can tell you have to be very hardworking, and then you are sitting in front of the TV and you're watching, changing the remote control all the time and changing. They are not seeing you as hardworking. No, so they'll think this is what it is. They don't see your hard work at office, right? So children are learning by observing us. Children are trying to empower themselves. And we are like like Prabha said, raise ourselves so that we can raise confident, empowered children. And one thing I used to do for every age, this changing age, we will see new challenges, not to scare ourselves. It is a part of our life. Even in our own lives, we will keep seeing new challenges, right? So one thing I used to do regularly is every 7 years, whenever there's a change of age, I would just go browse the internet to what to expect, what are parents facing and all that. So it's like I'm preparing, okay, these kind of changes can happen. A little bit of at least, okay, I'm not like caught off guard. What is this child? Why is this child acting like this? Or, it's like, I expect the change and I get prepared for it. Then it's less daunting.
Before we end, I just would like to say, just 2 days ago, we were hearing Anarada Bhakti Sutras. Raghuramji talked about freedom. Because we are so, as adults, we always want that freedom, whether it is at workspace or it is at home space with all our family members. We feel that my freedom is lost, or I don't have freedom, I don't have the freedom of choice. So, but sometimes, very nicely he talked about, we always think about my freedom, right? My freedom, that how I want to raise my child, how I want to be like this, how I want to do things in life, and I'm not getting the freedom. But the so important is, what is freedom itself, we need to understand. In the freedom itself, when we understand, then there will be no mine and yours. So when we have that freedom, are we giving that freedom for the other person to be themselves? So that becomes a very, very important, actually, a very profound insight, actually. Am I giving the freedom to the other person, whether it is my spouse or whether it is my child or whether it's my parents, whoever it is, to be themselves and to make beautiful choices themselves? Because most of the time, we are not wanting that. In those areas, we want freedom from others, the others to give us freedom. But sometimes we have that problem of giving that freedom space, to others, to our own family members, to our own child. So the concept of freedom is not mine and yours. Do you understand the freedom itself? It's a very subtle line here, because where I'm learning my freedom, you should remember that my coming there. Or am I giving that space? For example, if Arthi is my daughter, am I giving that space for Arthi to behave herself, to to be herself, absolutely be her? That is, I'm allowing her to give that space. Or I am just completely overboarding her, putting out all my needs and wants, and my own visualization of how my child has to be. Then will Arthi as a child have freedom? No, Arthi does not get the freedom to be herself. And the moment this child becomes a teenager, she or he becomes a rebel. That no, accept me as me. I don't get freedom here. I want to step out of this house. So that is where it's a very important thing for us to keep having awareness. Self-inquiry, awareness, reflection, everything is so important at every point of life, to know that how much freedom am I actually giving others. Most of the time we are only concentrating, I don't get freedom to get out of the house to do what I want. Most of the time it is about me. Sometimes it's important to step out from me zone. That me zone, we need to step out. It becomes very, very beautiful journey, actually, in that way.
And for this, the most important thing, what is needed is for me to, how can I work towards my peace in any situation? If I am calm, every situation seems easy and smooth. So the main journey in this is to handle my mind and handle myself, so that I can be the calm in any storm. Then everything will happen harmoniously. I can be the calm in any storm. Or even when everything is nice, I maintain that calm. So with this, we will end the session, unless there are any more questions further.
Ma'am, I just wanted to ask one thing.
Sure.
So, you gave an example of a patient and a nurse, right? So, the nurse knows that for the patient to get well, these many doses of medicine has to go. right? So similarly, if my kid is not keeping well, the kid doesn't want to take the medicine, but you know that without the medicine, the kid is not going to get cured. How to uh, how do we as parents identify that this is the medicine which has to go and this is where I can let go?
Correct, correct. That's a very fair question. So here you are looking at how to guide or do the right thing for the child. A medicine has to be given or something has to be given. You have observed and you feel that something has to be done. And that's when you seek, you can either try or you come to these kind of courses. If it's a medicine, you go to a doctor, right? You are not a doctor, so you can't prescribe it yourself. And or you cannot, so you you consult an expert. In such cases, it could be an expert could be a parent, your own mother, it can be your own grandparent, somebody. I'm thinking in terms of medicine, you're actually talking about what is the right prescription at this time.
Yes.
Or something like this. What is the right way to address it, right? So then we, one is this kind of sessions, Art of Parenting, where we pray. And then it's our own journey also. We learn, we move. That is where our growth happens, right? And I consult with experts. There is no expert as such, but just like we try one doctor and then we try another doctor and we keep and somewhere we gain knowledge and we go through our journey that way. And the child is also growing. As long as we are not fixated on the outcome, that this is the outcome, and we are just going through the journey, it will still be a smoothful journey with faith, with confidence that we are all leading our life as has been ordained to us.
And very here interesting is actually we will be covering that in the course where it is part of the curriculum also. There is a very interesting thing. For example, I am an avid reader. And I know that the reading habit is very good for my child. So as a nurse, I'm saying, like, you think that is a medicine, the reading habit. How do I empower my child? So sometimes so this is where we are there to give that subtle kind of a, we are there with not pressurizing the child to read, but said, shall we sit and read today? I thought I will read today. Would you like to listen to my reading? So it starts like that, because maybe you think that this is the medicine, because reading habit is a very good developing habit for my child, and you think that immediately give the child and sit and read. Then no. The nurse sits with the patient like that. You sit with the child, said, okay, what we will do is one paragraph I do, one paragraph you do. Maybe so different strategies you see.
Okay.
Child, this is where you think that this is the right medicine, and you are using your different strategies to work with the child. And you might not expect the child to be an avid reader like you, but the child will not have hesitancy to take the book and read for some time. So that is how you're powering your child, with your strategies, not with the outcome that the child has to be an avid reader like me. Then there is pressure. The child does not read. You are totally very angry. You are very angry that the child is not reading. I'm giving you so many books from the library. You're not sitting and reading, because you are sitting at the outcome of expectation. But you're thinking that, this is the right medicine. Every day you're giving 5 teaspoons of that medicine to the child, supplement to the child. You should think like that. Strategies help. We think strategies work in workspaces. Strategies help. I'm not asking you to be cunning, but I'm asking you to be tactful, fantastic strategies.
And we will learn these strategies through this course, which is one of the things, So like one of the, because she brought up reading, I have twins. When I used to read a book, my daughter, I would sit nicely on my lap and she will look at the book, but my son would keep running around. He will not come and sit. So then, but I was an avid reader. So whenever I would sit with a book and I'll be reading in that room, and he'll keep coming to pluck the book away from me. But I would completely ignore him and hold the book tight and keep reading. After that, he also started coming and sitting. And it's not like an I obviously, because I was a reader, I liked it when my children became avid readers. But it was not like, but this, when I started doing it myself, they came and sat. So you just explore strategies. In a way, it was a strategy also to see if I am sitting and reading like this, Will he come and sit down? So we just look at different strategies. It's like driving a car. Now it is very steep. I have to go into first gear. Right now, okay, it's a smooth flow, so I can go up to the 5th gear right now. So it is like changing gears for situation. When I start observing, then I start learning how to, and that observing itself brings out different strategies. When I can be calm, it brings out the best strategy. So the key first is to find my calm and observe. And when these two are taken care of, then strategies will start coming and I will start applying. Yeah.
We'll close the session.
Yes. So we are having a 8-week session, which will cover many of these areas for me to empower myself through this journey of parenting, making this parenting itself a journey of my evolution, and hence being that guiding force for that child, which builds security, confidence, and brings out an empowered child to this world. Right?
Now, one question, Arthi madam. My son is 28. Even then, can I also join this course?
You handle yourself, Bhargaviji. Yes, you can join the course, and it will be for you to handle yourself in whatever situation and to love your son in spite of whatever it is.
Okay. So I'll also enroll. I have not enrolled so far.
Yes, please do.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
The class is on every Saturday, Sunday, early morning, 6:30 to 8 o'clock for the next, for starting this week, 8 weeks totally, 16 sessions. You will have recordings in case you need. You won't be there for some days. And we have a break during December holidays. Okay, we'll close the session. Oh, Asato ma satgamaya, tamaso ma jyotirgamaya, mrityorma amritam gamaya, sarve bhavantu sukhinaha, sarve santu niramayaha, sarve bhadrani pashyanto, ma kaschid dukkha bad bhavet. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.
Thank you, everyone. Hope the session was interesting and it basically kindled your interest. And if you're interested to join the course, please do that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.